The owlbear stormed into the room and barrels past the hobgoblin to attack you, Joe. You see the owlbear has a kind of harness on. You could summarize that the goblins have been trying to tame this creature. That and the fact the owlbear went right past the hobgoblin to attack you. The owlbear attacks you with his mighty beak and claws, hitting you with both of them. That's 8 damage from its claws and 16 from its beak for a total of 24 damage.
Holy crap, that's enough to take me down. Baby boys, come save Daddy.
I'm never gonna let this go. I'll help you back up. But damn it, I'm going to be wearing this shit-eating grin for a while.
Whatever, man, get jealous later. Help my stupid ass up.
All right, Droop, it's your turn. Joe just got decimated by a huge owlbear, and the hobgoblin is still up and coming to and facing Joe, ready to finish him off.
Oh shit, okay. I'm going to use Gloomstalker feature to attack both the hobgoblin and the owlbear. First shot is going to the hobgoblin. That's 24 to hit for 8 piercing damage and an additional 7 from Dread Ambusher for a total of 15 damage.
Go ahead and tell me how you kill that hobgoblin.
I see that he's getting ready to finish off Joe, and I yell out, "Don't hurts my friend, Eric, I'll kills you," and let my arrow loose, and it just hits Eric right in the neck. He gurgles on his blood and falls over dead as a doornail.
Awesome. I think you have a second attack?
I do. I'm going to shoot another arrow at the owlbear, but I'm going to put my hunter's mark on him first as a bonus action, then let my attack go. That's a 28 to hit for 7 piercing damage and an additional 5 from hunter's mark for a total of 12 piercing damage.
Good news. You drew the attention away from Joe. Bad news. The owlbear looks pissed at you guys. Barack, it's your turn.
I don't like the way that owlbear is looking at us. Hex and Eldritch Blast. That is a 19 to hit for 12 force damage and an additional 5 necrotic from Hex, hitting it for a total of 17 damage.
Good hit, but still not enough to kill this thing. George, it's your turn.
I'm going to run into the barracks screaming and attack this owlbear with Talon. I rolled a 13 to hit for 8 slashing damage. Does that land?
It does hit.
Awesome. I'm going to Divine Smite it for an additional 13 damage, so that is 21 damage in total.
Your blade rings with radiant energy as you strike this beast. It lets out a howl of pain. It looks badly hurt, but it is still standing as it glares at you with hate in its eyes, George. We're back at the top of the track with you, Don. Joe is down and unconscious, and over him is an angry owlbear.
Now's my chance to get that dope-ass owlbear cloak. I'm going to cast Chromatic Orb at a 1st level, picking poison from my element to avoid damaging the pelt, and shoot it at the beast wearing my drip. Shitty roll. 13 to hit for 5 poison damage. Do I hit it?
You actually do, just barely. Your orb hits the owlbear, and it definitely weakens it.
Damn it, I wanted to finish it off. Oh well, at least I hit something this time.
Joe, it is your turn. Go ahead and roll me a death save.
I got an 18, baby, my first success.
Joe. You slip into unconsciousness and find yourself on the streets of Neverwinter. As if you are a specter looking down on yourself, you see a younger version of yourself sitting on a street corner, holding out a tin can, shaking it to people passing by. You're wearing dirty, torn rags. You have worried, tired eyes, pleading for anyone to spare just a few copper pieces. Many of those people who pass by you are humans who scoff at you. You have the sense of utter hopelessness as you look into the tin can to find only 2 copper pieces. Your stomach rumbles, begging for a meal. You notice your younger self spotting a coin pouch on someone's side. Your stomach must have been convincing because you ran up and nabbed the pouch like an animal and quickly ran down an alleyway. The person you stole from chases you down the alley screaming, "Catch that runt! They stole my money!" Coming back to reality, the owlbear begins to take its turn. It lets out a roar and tries to bite its vicious beak at you, George. Your shield takes the brunt of the blow, but it lowers your guard. The owlbear follows up with its vicious claws, rending you for a total of 15 slashing damage. Droop, it is your turn.
Oh man, I'm just going to attack it with my short bow. That's a 22 to hit for 10 piercing damage.
You killed it. Want to tell me how you did it?
When it rears back and attacks George with its claws, I let my arrow loose and it hits just right in his chest to pierce its heart. It wearily wobbles and falls over, blood pouring from its wound onto the ground.
With the owlbear slain, we're out of combat, however Joe is bleeding out. Going down in the track, next up is Barack.
I'm not a doctor. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm going to go over to Joe and ready the help action for someone who can actually do something.
Fair enough. George, it's your turn.
I'm going to walk over to Joe and say, "Make way, I'm going to heal our fallen comrade." And use 10 points of lay on hands on Joe to get him back up on his feet.
Excellent. Joe, your vision of your childhood continues. You see yourself running down a dark alleyway as it slowly fades from the city streets to a black void. A cobbled stone path appears in front of you as you dash as fast as you can down the path. Darkness closes in behind you as your younger self begins to panic, clutching onto the pouch with all of your might. Death is at your heels, And just as it is about to catch you, you wake up with a gasp of breath, getting jolted back into reality with George's healing touch.
I reach up and I grab George for the shock of being brought back to life and say, "Holy shit, buddy, they were about to get me. You saved my life. Thank you."
Of course, friend, I wouldn't have you die on my watch. Welcome back to the land of the living.
Yeah, while they're all doing that, I'm going to be over here near this owlbear corpse trying to skin it. I'm going to be using my dagger that's been in my inventory since we started playing, but never used to carefully cut away the pelt with the help of my mage hand, cantrip to pull the pelt away as I cut. I look back to Joe and say, "Oh, good, you're not dead." Here I thought Sleepy Joe was going to take the big nap.
So that's what you have to say to me after I almost died, Don. That's pretty shitty of you.
Nah, man, your ego has gotten way too inflated lately. You're becoming careless. You could have easily disengaged out of there with a cunning action, but you're out there swinging your dick around and you almost got clapped. You fucked around and you found out. I have sympathy for you, man, but if you're going to just be a dipshit, I've got none. Play stupid games, get stupid prizes.
I'm not going to say anything back. I'm just going to cross my arms and think for a bit.
Guys, we still needs to go find King Groll.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm still pretty beat up.
Same. That owlbear got a few good hits on me.
While you're all talking, you all hear muffled yelling followed by the sound of wood breaking and a scream coming from the curtain to the north. It sounds like a gruff-sounding bugbear and possibly a dwarf.
We don't have time for a rest right now. Let's dump what healing we have right now and go save Gundron. I don't think he has much time left.
But what about my pelt? I haven't finished carving it off this stupid thing's body yet.
Don, I promise you, once we kill the big bad evil guy, you can come back and get that pelt. I'll even help you myself.
Fine, I put my dagger away and step away from the corpse. It's gonna be so fucking dope when I get to wear that thing finally.
I've got Cure Wounds on my spell list and 2 spell slots remaining. George, go ahead and use your heals on yourself and I'll patch up the others.
Fair enough. I'm going to use Lay on Hands on myself for 10 HP and use Cure Wounds to heal myself for an additional 5. I'm back up to 32 HP out of my 40. I'll be going in first this time for sure, so I'll take the blows.
Who needs the most healing? I'm fine for now.
I've got 15 HP left. I'm pretty sure Joe only has the 10 that George gave him. Don, what are you at?
I'm sitting at 18 HP. Droop, how about you pump both of those cure wounds into Joe since he's going to be melee? You, Barack, and I will stay in the back and be ranged.
That's actually really smart. Okay, I'm going to use both of my spell slots to Cure Wounds on Joe to heal him for a total of 17 HP. After that, I think we're tapped on heals, guys. No one go down.
Why aren't you talking with your lisp, Droop?
When I'm being meta about heals and shit, I'm not going to give myself a migraine talking like that. Don't worry, I'll be back to talking like a dumbass soon enough.
The sounds of screams come from past the curtain again. You definitely can tell these are the screams of Gundron pleading with whoever is holding him captive to let him go. There is one thing for certain. If you all don't act quickly, there may not be a Gundron to save.
I rush past the curtain to the north. Where's Gundron? What do I see?
You enter into a small hallway that ends with a door heading east and a door heading west. The sounds of the screams and struggle are happening behind the eastern door.
I check to make sure everyone is behind me, give them a nod, and kick down the door and rush inside.
This chamber has been set up as a crude living space with thick furs thrown on the floor to serve as carpets, old trophies hanging on the walls, a large bed to the north, and a brazier of coals burning brightly. A round table with several chairs stands to the south near the door. A large bugbear wearing royal scarlet robes is holding a dwarf, as you all would recognize as Gundron, up to his chest with a sword to his throat. In front of them is a large wolf, barking and snarling at George. The bugbear, of which you assume to be none other than King Groll, yells, "Back off, the lot of you, or the short shit gets it!" I'm going to ask everyone to roll for initiative for this hostage negotiation.
I rolled a 19 time to roast this asshole.
Oh baby, I got a 24.
I got a 14 even with advantage. That kind of stinks.
I rolled a 17.
Hey guys, surprise, I rolled like shit. I got a 9.
All right, a couple of notes here. You guys do not have to do anything combat-wise on your turn. This is a tense situation that could very well result in Gundron's death. Joe, it is needless to say your rapier of warning is glowing very much in this room as you're surrounded by danger. Droop, it is your turn first. You see your old king moments away from spilling Gundron's blood all over the ground in his own royal chambers. Gundron looks scarred, bruised, and nearly on the verge of passing out. It seems he had a gag put into his mouth as he struggles weakly against the tyrant.
Oh great, the fate of Gundron starts off in the hands of Droop. He's as good as dead.
Hey fuckface, drops our friends now or I'm just gonna punches you right in the ball sack.
Wonderful. Such an eloquent use of words and negotiation skill. This will completely and utterly get the result we were looking for.
King Groll chuckles for a moment and says, "Well, look, if it isn't Droop, our tribe's punching bag mascot, came back just to see your friend slaughtered, there's only one way for you all to walk out of here alive, and that is turning around right now and leaving. The raiding warband is returning right now, and they're right outside the gates. If you don't do what I say, you're all as good as dead."
Well, shit. I'm just gonna ready my action to shoot King Groll if he tries any shady shit. I've got my eyes trained on him the entire time with my bow drawn.
You will roll with disadvantage if you decide to take the shot. Since he is using Gundron as a body shield, if you fail the attack roll, you will end up hitting Gundron. Same goes for anyone attacking him with a ranged attack. Don, it's your turn.
All right, I'm going to yell out with my hands up, ready to cast a second-level chromatic orb and say, "Look, man, there's two ways out of here, and one of them is where you're alive. You're outnumbered, outgunned, and all we want is the dwarf. Is it really worth your life to slit his throat? Because I guarantee if you kill him, you're good as a shit stain on the stone floor of this room. Do the right thing and let him go, and I won't have to blast your ass for 48 of kick-ass right down your fucking throat."
All right, Don, give me a persuasion check.
That's a 22, baby. Does this asshat drop Gundron or what?
King Groll takes his turn to knock Gundron out and throw him to the ground in front of him and says, "Now you all, let me the fuck out of here," as he points his sword to you all. Droop, Don, do you set off your readied action?
No, if he's dropping Gundron, I'm not gonna let my shot go just yet. But I'm still gonna be watching him closely.
Same. I'm going to hold my action still. If he's going to comply, I want to make sure we get Gundron safe.
All right then. Meanwhile, from behind Droop, a voice rings out and says, "No, this cannot stand!" A female drow leaps from the corner behind you all and attacks Droop twice with a sword, dealing a total of 30 damage to him.
What the fuck? I want to let my attack off because that's enough to take me down.
It's why I asked first, because it isn't King Groll doing something shady. It was someone else in the room you all didn't notice. If that's enough to take you down, the drow shoves their sword through Droop's chest and they push him off their blade and he falls to the ground unconscious. King Groll gives a wicked grin and holds his blade in an aggressive stance and says, "Well, looks like this just got a lot more interesting."